Hi, hello, VinnyEndDragon here, and welcome to the MMC. Now, I wanted to sort of make a video before I do my week 4 battle next week to sort of sum up how MMC has been so far. A few days ago, I posted a poll on my community tab to see if you guys wanted me to make content about this league. I wasn't really intending to, but the overwhelming positive support that I got for this poll makes me feel like I should probably just do videos for this league. There's no reason for me not to. So because of that, here's a very low effort team builder section where you could just look at the team that I built for this draft. Here's a little mini draft review. I drafted Toad School #1 overall because I'm just goated like that, along with a pretty devastating stall core. Gliscor, Glamora, Aggron is just completely unbreakable, Clef for wish support, and then I have access to Skeledirge for unaware damage, and then Weavile and Iron Leaves are my sweepers, and then Raikou is just because I really needed a special attacker with Volt Switch. Tatsugiri is just a low tier bulky water with access to free Terra. It's not even that bad. Anyway, let's actually get into these battles. Now, my first matchup was up against Justin, and I brought a pretty standard team. This is just offensive Leaves and Weavile. I have Aggron, Dirge, Geary, and then Clefable just to really punch holes into this team, but let's go over it. So, off the bat, we see the Aggron lead into taunt on Mega Aggron so I don't get rocks up. But when he tries to set up hazards on me, I always body press because Aggron's just that strong. U-turn is not going to do anything, and then he sends in Vaporeon here as I just body press again. I have no reason not to, and now that Taunt's ended, I just have no reason not to get my rocks up now. I mean, he got a layer of spikes, but overall this is a pretty good exchange just because he hasn't shown anything that could break Aggron yet, and Pecharunt's really the only one. After an Iron Defense, I see Pecharunt come in, and I see Nasty Plot, and I'm like, well, hold on, I switch you out with Roar. I live that Shadow Ball, by the way, so I'm not too worried. Urshifu doesn't even do half after an Iron Defense, and boom, Body Press kills it. Right, so I'm already in a pretty good position. I'm thinking, okay, I send in Dirge here on the Mega Zam, because Mega Zam, even with Shadow Ball, isn't doing that much, but the Focus Blast read is just 100% for free. Vaporeon comes in as I just get the Shadow Ball damage, which I realize that this is especially defensive Vaporeon. Not too big a deal. Clef can handle this. I reveal that I'm unaware because I take Toxic Chip and Spike Chip instead of Magic Guard, just blocking all that out. In comes Pecharunt to force out this Clef as I go for Wish. I have tons of things I could send in here for Wish healing. I just go for Mega Aggron. Now, Shadow Ball actually was a little risky if he's like proper offenses, but he just goes for Nasty Plot. Hex, though, is what he reveals instead of Shadow Ball, so I just roar and I get the kill on Ogerpon with rocks. In comes Mega Zam, Tracing Filter, which doesn't really matter. This thing dies to everything. And he clicks Substitute. I'm actually willing to take this Focus Blast here just to protect myself from any Mega Zam setup shenanigans like this Substitute. So I just go for this, and then he Focus Blast misses, which I still would have won. I still would have been fine, but it's really unfortunate for him. In comes Vaporeon, and my Vaporeon answer is always Storm Drain Tatsugiri. So I just click Draco here to do some good damage, but especially bulky Vaporeon just eats that shit up. So I'm taking Toxic Chip now as I Rapid Spin just to get this one little layer of spikes away. It's not that much, but it just kind of helps me not take more chip. In comes Skeledirge here, and I get red with the Scald. Big damage. It's very unfortunate, but it's fine because I still have Clef. They're gonna keep clicking Scald, they have no reason not to. But I have Wish support, so I'm not too worried about my damage. Clef is gonna take a lot of damage to get this Wish off. And then I think I actually read for the Teleport read here. I don't really agree with that in retrospect. But I get the read here with Psyblade, right? This is the most obvious. Yep, Psyblade. And once I get the read with Psyblade, it's just over because I click it twice. This goes down. Alakazam comes in, and I do have to respect the Zam, so I do switch out. I'm pretty sure this is just an Aggron sacrifice here. Although I actually do live 2 Shadow Balls. But no, Focus Blast doesn't miss this time. And then I send in Iron Leaves again this time. And I get the Leaf Blade crit because this is actually Scarf to outspeed this Zam. And then I click Leaf Blade 2 more times, 3 more times actually. In order to get the KOs, pick up the win in week 1. I mean, Iron Leaves absolutely coming in clutch for me this week. I mean, he barely had any answers. I click it 4 times. Wait, Vaporeon lived that. That's crazy, actually. But yeah, no, it's over. Leaf Blade, boom. And that's all she wrote. Next up is Battle 2 against a good friend of mine, Mr. Kenny Bot. And I actually managed to bring the Toad School, baby. Toad School is absolutely going to put in work this game, but you'll see. I lead Skeledirge into an instant, which is already pretty rough because he just gets a free knockoff. And oh my god, did that do so much damage to Raikou. Granted, I was max special defense AV, but I Volt Switch on the Golden Go. Send in Dirge here. As he says in Instant, and I kind of just realized, like, okay, this is the Instant set. This is the Instant meant to counter Dirge. He's just going to keep clicking knockoff over and over. I send in Clef as he parting shots. Golden Go Make It Rain here is very scary, so I send in Toad School as he Shadow Balls, and boom, I eat that shit. Now, special defense drop's unfortunate, but I still live, and I go for this Pain Split to heal up. And then I switch to Gliscor on the Zapdos. Gliscor eats everything Zapdos could throw at it, and if he's not U-turn, I stop Volt Switch, which he switches out manually as I get up my rocks to help chip down this Incineroar. We see Boots Zapdos, which, you know, is pretty standard because he's going to go for Defog with it. Volt Switches on Clefable, which is fine because I'm clicking Wish here every single time. And then Golden Go is going to threaten me, but I have specially defensive Raikou, so I eat that. I didn't live a Make It Rain, actually, but I didn't think he was going to click it. I thought he'd go for the read on the Dirge here. I go for Shadow Balls, he goes for Recover, and I realize that this isn't a choice set, so Recover is going to be very scary. Now, Toad School gets the Toxic off here on Zapdos, which, insane value. I protect going for the easy read on the Hurricane, just, you know, for more chip damage. And then I get to Raikou here as he roosts with Zapdos. Now Raikou's in pretty good position here. Great Tusk is unfortunate because it's just the free switch and the Volt Switch, but I get the Scald read. And then it's funny because I not only read the switch into Great Tusk, but then I also read that he, like, I'm willing to sack Raikou here so that he doesn't bulk up, and I'm like, I'm just gonna click it again. So he clicks bulk up here and then gets punished because I just go for Scald twice. Very, very, very helpful. Now, I Volt Switch on our Arboliva, does absolutely no damage. As I send in Skeledirge on this Giga Drain, no damage. And then I just get a free Torch Song. Incineroar, I think I went for Shadow Ball just to do more. No, I just went for Torch Song, yeah. Just 3 damage. I switch to Clef. Flare Blitz does good damage for sure, but because of leftovers, I'm out of the range of the second one. So we parting shots. Very, very fair play, very fair play. Now Golden Go comes in here, and I have no reason not to send in Toad School because I'm going to wish up all the damage he would do. Special defense drop again is devastating, but he nasty plots in my face, and I have no reason not to spore him. And I mean, that's the Toad School value right there. It spores Golden Go, and then I just completely fuck him up because he lost his main offensive damage dealer. Now, I have no reason to care about losing Toxic Orb here. I've already got the poison off. I get Stealth Rocks up again. Gliscor heals up in front of Arboliva. Then I switch to Toad School as he switches to Zapdos, and we know this is Boots. I know that this is clicking Defog, so I switch to Clefable just to get that U-turn, just to get that turn in with some momentum. Click Wish again. Volt Switch does a decent chunk, but not enough to scare me as I just go for Wish again. And then I switch into Raikou here just to get that healing. We see Nasty Plot, which is a little scary, but I got that Wish, so I know that I live, and I Shadow Ball. Crit didn't matter, but because he's going to recover it, but crit was huge. I Volt Switch out into the Toad School. I actually live this Make It Rain here, but he's going for Shadow Ball every time, and that does half, and then I Spore him down. He switches out to Incin, as I switch out into Dirge, because he's predicting me. So then I switch into Raikou. I don't have an item anymore, which means knockoff does less. I think I went for Volt Switch here, predicting the read. Very simple, very clean. Clefable comes in. As Clefable goes for Wish on the Giga Drain here, I actually live this. And then I believe I switched to Toad School. Yep, Toad School. Giga Drain, but because Toad School is no HP, that's just a full wish, easily. And then I switched into Weavile here. This was kind of greedy of me, but it pays off because he switches to Golden Go. And then I go for the Sword Stance here. Now I actually didn't kill this Arboliva because of Terra Fire. Obviously if he wasn't Terra, I'd just go for the Ice move, but because of Terra Fire, I didn't want to risk it. I wanted to play clean. I switched to Dirge here on the Terra Blast. And then Phalanx comes in and I slack off. Phalanx high horsepower does not do enough. I mean, I also had Shuka, but even then it did half, and then I just Will-O-Wisp, and even after no retreat, if this thing's burned, it's over. So he's just going to keep clicking that as I'm going to heal up and Torch Song, just to stack up special attack boosts. This is a little bit of an awkward situation because I wanted the most HP possible for when Golden Ghost switched in. And Incineroar as well. Like, I wanted the most HP, but he was just clicking attacking moves and letting this Phalanx die. So I believe I just went to get the second special attack boost and dealt with having 70%, I believe. Yeah. I was just like, I'm going to have the 70%. And then Incineroar comes in, and I, with 2 special attack boosts, I'm like, I'm just going to kill this. And thankfully it was enough. Zapdos comes in. My friend Maul's here a little bit. Don't worry, Kenny's a close friend of mine. The Hurricane here is I just Torch Song, get the special attack boost. I mean, this is just very, very clean. And then Dirge is asleep. No turn 1 wake up. I get the Shadow Ball. And then I think this is just all she wrote. He actually lives that Shadow Ball. Gets the Citrus. Terra Blast does not do enough to preserve the 6-0. Gets Harvest, but it doesn't matter. I Shadow Ball every time. Starting off pretty good with a 2-0, especially against a 6-0 against one of my friends is pretty solid. I did have to come crashing down against Iger though, and let me explain. So, off the bat, I lead Aggron as usual. I do this every single time. I get the boost and then I just go for rocks. And if you look at this calc, you'll see that this is easily Choice Band Adamant. Swampert does not do this much damage to Aggron otherwise. And so that completely changed my math on things. Because Skeledirge, like, oh, you live 1 hit from Swampert, like an offensive Swampert, and then you Willow. And like, oh, Aggron lives 2, and then I click moves and stuff. But not living a single one, like, Choice Band changed the math for so much in this game. And you're gonna see, like, I was struggling to have momentum on this thing. It was very, very rough. And it also doesn't help that my team is very slow this week. So, Crit Body Press, that was actually kind of helpful. As we see the Grassy Surge come in and I send in Glamora. Now, I'm actually Air Balloon Glamora, so I wasn't too worried about Swampert just choiced into Earthquake. But we see that Tapu Bulu comes in and looks at me here. I want to switch here, I'm a little worried about this. We see Silvally Steel. Silvally Steel is great because it doesn't do anything. Now, no Silvallies do anything because Silvally is a terrible Pokemon, but Silvally Steel definitely doesn't do anything. I mean, it's a Weavile switch in, but I love this as a Dirge fan. So he clicks Toxic on me. I have no reason not to click Willow. I honestly should have clicked Torch Song, but I thought there was maybe a chance that he sent in like Swampert or Snorlax or something. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get the burn, but he ends up staying in, and so I'm like, okay, I'll switch to Clef here because I know that this is support Silvally after I see Toxic, and after he's burned, even if he ends up being like physically offensive, after a burn he's not breaking Clef, so I'm like, okay, I'll send it in. He parting shots to the Scolipede here, and then I'm like, even without the boost, I do not trust myself to live a move from the Scolipede, so I send in the physically defensive Gliscor. Now this Gliscor, I kind of wanted to do more damage because we see the Aqua Tail here and I live that, but then Earthquake only does like half, man, and I'm very disappointed in Gliscor in this moment because he gets another boost and then he kills Gliscor. Killing Gliscor changed the momentum of the game entirely because that was another ground immunity I had, but it's fine. We Torch Song though every time. As I'm unaware Skeledirge. So we get the trade. Scolipede for Gliscor is not a trade that I like to make, because then we see Swampert come in. I send in Air Balloon Glumora, and he reads it and goes for Flip Turn. I get Toxic Debris up though, which is very, very good for this, because after the Rocks chip, I just click the move here because I'm like, if he does it, if he clicks like Agility or something, I want to get up as much hazards as possible. He has to kill me, and so I'll get the second Toxic Debris, so very simple. Now, the switch in here is Dirge every time. Now, we get the poison on this Snorlax, badly poison, and then we see that it actually takes damage here, and we see that it's Thick Fat. Thick Fat, like max special defense to stop Skeledirge, which makes sense, it's already a ghost immunity, so yeah. Now, I'm over here just really struggling to get some HP back, and I'm like, I need to get Clef into position so that I can Wish Pass. We see the switch to Silvally, I don't really care, because, again, he's not doing that much damage to either of my Pokemon. He actually roars, so I can't teleport. Very unfortunate, but, I mean, I'm okay with Dirge sitting right here. Roar to disrupt the Wish Pass, though, is pretty cool. We see Parting Shot into Snorlax as I go for Torch Song, which just gets me my special attack back anyway. But after doing 6% with this Torch Song, I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's very rough. Tapu Bulu comes in, which, you know, is pretty cool. I heal because I thought that Snorlax would go for an Earthquake, and I'm like, I'm just going to heal in front of him. I Torch Song in front of Bulu, get the special attack boost as he heals up a lot. He gets the Grassy Terrain, he gets Leftovers, he gets Leech Seed. And I'm like, okay, I can't take this much damage from Toxic, I gotta switch. Nature's Madness Miss is very good for me, because, again, this is Wish Passing Clef, I don't want to lose HP. We see Toxic, and we know that I am not Magic Guard, because I'm never Magic Guard. Leech Seed comes in as I teleport away into Aggron, just to, boom, get that Wish Healing back, and threaten this thing with Heavy Slam. But he's taking Toxic Chip anyway, so I think he's just content to lose his Aggron, which is content with me, because I just kill this thing every time. Sorry, that was an accident of mine, but Swampert just kills this, which, it's so insane that Swampert could kill this with a Choice Band, man. I really underestimated this Pokemon in prep. But anyway, I click Weavile here because I just want to click Knockoff. So I threaten Trailblaze every time, but I thought that he might switch into Metagross here. And so I went for the knockoff. Unfortunately, Silvally came in, which is fine. I Swords Danced. I was really risking him just clicking Metal Move here, but after the burn, I'm like, okay, I'm probably fine if he Parting Shots and stuff. And he Parting Shots, which means I'm at +1 into the Metagross. So I was really, really scared of Colbur Berry into this matchup. I actually live the Bullet Punch, but it's very, very scary. So I click it, and then I see the Colbur Berry, and I'm like, okay. So the reason why I clicked it, even though I pretty much knew this was Colbur Berry, is because if he is not Colbur Berry, and I get this +1 Weavile through Metagross, I just win the game. Like, I literally win the game. He had nothing left. So I just had to risk it. Now, you could say, oh, it was a better play to switch into Dirge. Maybe we played the switching game a little bit more. But I was like, I needed Weavile to kill this. And unfortunately it didn't because it was Colbur, which I knew it was Colbur. But I'm like, just on the off chance he wasn't. So then I send in Dirge here because I'm like, okay, yeah, Bullet Punch. And then I Leftovers heal the damage he did anyway. We see Knockoff, which is crazy, but then I slack it all off. And then now that I don't have an item, Knockoff does less, so he has to send in Snorlax as I Torch Zone. After the +1 boost, I'm really threatening him now, because after Toxic Chip, he's going to be taking more damage. Now I send in Clef here, just because, again, Wish Passing in front of Snorlax is so free. Snorlax is so passive here. It's not Rest, so I'm just content to be super, super passive here. Teleport into what I need to heal up, which is Dirge. Get all that healing. and then Snorlax goes down right in front of me. Now Swampert comes in. Very unfortunate that I don't outspeed this, so I have to sack Clef. We see the flip turn, which means that he's not taking Toxic Chip yet. In comes Silvally, and then I send in Dirge because I'm like, okay, I just click Torch Song, right? We see the multi-attack. I click Shadow Ball on the off read to Metagross, but Swampert comes in, flip turns in front of me. This crit, so it was a damage roll otherwise, and you'll see me kind of mauled about it earlier. But that crit was a damage roll because he had Torrent activated, but even still, my Skeledirge was like max physical defense, so it was very rough. But then Bullet Punch into Weavile, and boom, I lose the game. It was very devastating, especially since I felt like that matchup was super in the bag for me. But I have to give my respect to Iger. He played very well. He brought a lot of good prep. Like Choice Band Weavile, or Choice Band Swampert, and then this Scolipede to actually be able to trade with Gliscor. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Overall, though, that's been MMC so far. I will be joining you for week 4 of the MMC, where I face off against Ash Ice Claw. I really hope you guys enjoy that battle. But until then, see you soon.